In this video, we're going to look at how to figure out if a plugin has a hook, and then if it does, how we would add that to our own code. We're going to start with the popular plugin Gravity Forms, and I'm simply going to search for Gravity Forms hooks. We could see that we're being linked to developer documentation, which is a good sign. As I mentioned earlier, just because a plugin exists doesn't mean that it has a hook. And just because a hook exists doesn't mean that it's documented. In the case of Gravity Forms, we get all of these in place, and we could see easily here are the hooks and filters. I'm going to come down and look at one specifically in example, which is the gform submit button. We could see here that this is a filter, and we could see some code for how it's being executed. And if we scroll down, we could see an example. What this example is showing us is the name of the hook, our example function, the priority, and then the parameters. We could see that we're defining this function here that's going to be our custom function. We're getting fed the button itself, and then we're getting fed the form. So we have the data about the button, and we have the data about the form that's being submitted. And we can see because it's a filter, we have to be returning something, and what we're returning is the full HTML object here. So in this particular case, let's say that we were working with something that was Bootstrap-based, or something that had the class of BTN in their buttons and not button. All we would have to do is simply update the class we wanted, and then if maybe we wanted to change the text in any sort of way, we could do that, and then we could save it all as a string and have it returned. This would be a simple way that we could update the button text or the code behind it in Gravity Forms. Something else that's interesting about this example is not only can you apply your function to all buttons, however, if you add underscore and then the ID of the form that you're working with, you could actually apply a function to filter just that submit button for that particular form. So this is a good example of good documentation and good hooks that we could tie into. Gravity Forms really was built in a great way for other developers to add on to it or hook into it.